welcome into another edition of In the Fields, the Topeka Scarecrows professional hockey podcast right here on YouTube and social media. I'm John Clement, as always, and bringing you today a very special guest, somebody I'm fairly familiar with, the new head coach of your Topeka Scarecrows, Robbie Nichols. Robbie, welcome in.
Well, thank you. It's great to be here.
Well, we're down here in the bowels of the arena, the first look for some of you fans, I'm sure, at this beautiful locker room, and kind of an interesting place to be. I know, Robbie, we were talking back before you got here. You know, this is a unique market, a hockey market that hasn't seen pro hockey in 20 years. What was it that inspired you to want to come back?
Well, really the love of the game. I've, started when I was 2 years old and been in hockey and pro hockey for approximately 40 years. So it's been a long time in the game. I love the game, and really the ownership group, Don Lewis was involved, and Chris, and they talked to me. I've known Don for over 20 years, and really finally my wife and I had bought our retirement home and was going to retire, and I thought, hey, why not go one more year and have some fun here in Topeka.
Well, and you got yourself a signing already. You're already working through the process, and obviously the draft coming up. You've done this before. You did it as an owner. You've done it as a coach for multiple years. You've been successful everywhere you've gone. What are you looking for to build out here to give Topeka an identity?
Well, first of all, we want to be tough. I love tough hockey teams. All of the teams that I've had in the past have always been tough hockey teams, but we want to win. You want to win. You need star players. You need athletes that can skate, and we want to work with them too. We want them to move up to the next level, but really I think Topeka will like the brand of hockey. We want to find fast players, hard players, going to finish their checks, and we're going to be a hard team to play against.
You love to hear that, hard team. And you mentioned it in your speech at the press conference. This is kind of blue-collar town, a hard-working town, and that's what you expect out of your players. And that's been your identity for your entire career in hockey. What is it that keeps you coming back to the game and keeps you wanting to do this?
I don't know. It just keeps sucking me back in. No, you miss the game. You miss, the guys, the friendships, and stuff like that. And like I said, my wife and I talked about it, and we're ready to retire, and we have the baseball teams, and we don't need to be back in hockey. But it's in my blood. I grew up in it, and she said, yeah, go follow your dream again. Go have fun, and that's sort of our thing, is go do what you enjoy and have fun, and you never know, tomorrow's never granted, so enjoy life while you can.
And speaking of following your dream, I mean, obviously you got to live the dream. You got drafted. You played for a lot of years there as a player, and won some championships and found some success. Played for some great organizations, and the other day at the draft, or at our press conference, you got to give a guy a draft type experience, getting the jersey, getting the hat, the first one, and Justin Schmidt talked about what a great opportunity that was for him to experience that. What was that kind of like, going after him and kind of figuring out how to approach that at the press conference?
Well, that's the fun of it, and that's what you love as a coach and being involved in this game. Is I had signed Justin 20 years ago in Elmira, and now to re-sign him is kind of neat. There's a lot of hockey players who I still keep in contact with, from my Flint General days or other teams that I coached, and now they have sons that are coming up that could be playing on our team. There could be some of them on our team this year, and then you're really getting old if you find some of their grandsons on your team. But no, it's you want to see the kids succeed, and you want to see them go on and have great lives. And if you can help them out, just if you're one little small smidgen on helping them become a man and have a great life and a family guy, and there's a lot of great people over there I've had the pleasure of meeting and being with through the game of hockey.
And speaking of that, obviously you've had a great touch on everywhere you've been. People have nothing but the best of things to say, and how you've kind of helped people get to that next level. Here's a unique area where obviously there's not a lot of teams out this far west in the single A independent leagues. You're going to have obviously Kansas City right there, Utah teams, Pacific Division teams, looking at who you've got and who you're bringing in. How do you kind of prepare for that, as we saw it happen a lot more there with Athens and Columbus last year in this league? How do you kind of prepare to make sure you've got enough talent throughout the course of a year?
That's going to be the hard part. I'm leaning on a lot of my friends, through the hockey world. You always stay in touch. Some guys, Harry reached out to me already there, and Steve Martinson reached out to me, and a lot of the coaches in the league reached out to me, and a lot of the personnel in the office, a lot of good friends I've made through hockey. So, it just starts to come in. We already have probably about 50 names, that we're looking at, and we'll have to, see if they fit into our plans. And, we're looking for stars, but we're looking for team players. Everyone's going to fit their own little piece of their role on the team and, do their own job. I'm a big do your own job guy. I know Justin Schmidt's not going to score his 40 goals. So he'll fit his role, and everybody on the team will have a certain role. And, you have to find those top talent players, and you really want them to move away from themselves. You want them to move up some levels, and selfishly, you want to keep them here for a while, but we'll just find the best talent that's available.
Well, I got to take it in the best talent available. You were able to do that in Elmira when I was working with you, and obviously a first-year franchise going to the end of the season and playing in the championship series. A first-year franchise has not won at the FPHL level here, and obviously we've got a lot of banner space out there. What's it going to take here to provide that championship team that everybody was talking about at the press conference?
Well, it takes a lot, but I don't want to take all the credit or credit to wherever I've been, because wherever you're at, you have a great team, and so, the coaches on teams you're on, they do a great job. And, so it's really about the team that you assemble to put a team. Like Brent Clark did a great job in Elmira there, and Ahmad Mahfouz did an awesome job. And, so those guys deserve all the credit. So it's always a team, let them together. Like, you may give me a name, help us out, and they may end up on a roster. And, Don may give me a name, and, Sarge may give me a name, and all these people may give you a name, and it's just you're the guy that has to do all the research to see if they fit into your team and that, and to find the talent. That's going to be the tough part. It really is. It's, if you're listening out there and you're an all-star and you're playing in the NHL and you want to come play for Topeka, come play for us. But, that's the tough part. And we're going to do our work from now till the season starts.
And honestly, as you well know, it goes well past when the season starts. We'll be doing it till the end of the year. But when you see the first unveiling of a jersey, something you've experienced a few times, what is that like? I mean, for a community getting the chance to see the jersey again, and obviously a logo they all voted for, they all picked and wanted this logo and this name. What's it like to kind of experience that from the front office side and as a coach to see the first time that that jersey pops out?
Well, this reminds me of some of the cities we've been in. Elmira, New York, Flint, Michigan, Glens Falls, New York. Just the atmosphere, maybe even Danbury with their crazy Section 103 fans. It's there's the feeling that's here around this town. You walk, today I just came back from a lunch, and you meet these people, and they're just so excited. They're so excited for the Scarecrows to be here, and they like the name, and I like the name. It's a one means. It looks like Justin a bit. It's just one mean Scarecrow, and it's nice. The fans are accepting, but they're excited here. This is a big arena. It's a gorgeous facility for the players. You're in a top notch American Hockey League dressing room here. It's gorgeous. My coach's office is bigger than some of the dressing rooms I've been in. And it's a really neat facility, and they have to see it. It's one of the best facilities in the league, if not the best. It's gorgeous, and I think they're going to enjoy it here.
Well, last question before I let you go. Obviously, it's a long summer. Most people think that once the season's over, everybody gets to relax and let their hair down, and we obviously know that's very not true. This is the hard-working time of the year when you're trying to put it together. And as you guys build up the schedule, putting out the promotional schedule and figuring out how everything is going to work, and obviously moving forward through the first inaugural season here of professional hockey in Topeka in 20 years, what do you want the people to know, and what do you want them to experience here when they walk through the doors of this beautiful barn?
Well, I think a key factor that Don Lewis is the owner that's here, and he's going to be hands-on all the time. He's been through this with me many a times, and so it's not only the hockey product that I'm trying to put on the ice, it's what he's doing off the ice and the show in the arena and the giveaways, and what you'll do with corporate sponsors and season tickets and groups. And it's just going to be a great night out for the community, but there's a lot of work goes involved. Like you said, it's nonstop to think of all the different events and all the different promotions and make sure it's fun for everybody involved.
Well, there you have it. Head coach Robbie Nichols. You'll be hearing plenty from him over the offseason, and hopefully with some great big names coming here to Topeka. Once again, tune in every Wednesday right here on our social media for In the Fields. We'll see you next week.
Home opener, Friday, October 17th.
There you heard it.